living one day at a time. So tell the blessings are just the most high.
Kiswahili ya nyumbani zingine songa mbali. Genge na reggae sikia vile inakubali. Na roga.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you guys doing? Alright, my name is Rohan Guntz and I'll be your host this evening. Welcome to the 41st Annual International Reggae World Music Award.
I'm sure you're going to enjoy the proceedings because the announcement of the nominees, you know, and those who will be awarded will be made this evening.
We're going to ask the CEO of the IRAWMA International Award to come and introduce himself and tell you more about this award. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Eugene Martin.
Thank you very much. Let me again say a very special thanks to each and every one for coming out from Africa to the Caribbean, South America, Jamaica, and your contribution. I've seen so many who were here from the beginning. Not the beginning, but when we first came to South Florida in 1987. But let's talk about the awards, how we got to this point. There was a time when, as some of you may have known, that this month marks the 50th year that I've been in the entertainment and media business. Started in January 2nd, 1974. Started at the Jamaica Daily Gleaner. Soon after that, I journeyed to New York and then to Chicago. And there we started with the International Reggae and World Music Awards combined with the Chicago Music Awards. It started at a time when apartheid was at its peak in South Africa. Nelson Mandela was behind bars. And of course, reggae music was the music for all people to talk about an end to apartheid, an end to discrimination. It was the music that the people in Zimbabwe jumped to when Bob Marley performed there to say, let's end apartheid and everything like that. I was in Chicago in 1981 when Peter Tosh was on a tour. And he came to a place called the Park West. And we talked about, well, at first I've never been on stage before, but he insisted that I have to bring him on stage to introduce him, which I've refused to. But Copeland Forbes then convinced me to do it. And I went up and I introduced him. And then we're talking about the things that we're planning and a way of fighting apartheid and to see how we could use the music to incorporate that movement. And Peter Tosh agreed to be on. And he said, okay, I'm on. Freddie McGregor and several other entertainers, Dennis Brown, they all signed on at the time and said, hey, we are in support of what you're doing. So with that being said, what is now the International Reggae and World Music Awards got started in 1982 in Chicago. It's been a long road. We have gone from there to, came here to Florida on our first tour, 1987, then on to Jamaica for our 10th anniversary, Club Inferno, and on to, back to Atlanta to celebrate Nelson Mandela release. As a matter of fact, following the freedom of Nelson Mandela, it was the Atlanta show with Dennis Brown and Muta Baruka, among other entertainers, who they used that tape to celebrate Nelson Mandela freedom in South Africa for about a month or longer, running on television there for a long time. After the freedom of Nelson Mandela, some of you may have known that we started what is known as the African Caribbean Festival of Life. And that's a festival that we use to call for unity among our people and also for the recognition of the father of Chicago, a black man from the Caribbean who founded Chicago, but was never given his respect in over 240 years. But following the death of George Floyd, we took to the street and we said a change must come and we're not going to stop until. And although the politician and others were saying no, it wasn't going to happen, we're able to get the support of our people from the Caribbean, people from America, primarily African Americans, and with over 80 groups coming together And after 1 year of struggle with 150 comments in the City Hall, one of the most iconic streets in America, the Lakeshore Drive, we were able to change that in honor of the founding father of Chicago, known as Jean-Baptiste Point de Sable, from Haiti, the Caribbean. So when you go to Chicago and you drive on what used to be Lakeshore Drive, it's now officially Jean-Baptiste Point de Sable, Lakeshore Drive. That was a big history and a great moment for the people of Chicago. And today when you go to New York, at Flatbush Avenue and Clarendon, you'll see the sign, Jean-Baptiste Point de Sable, Lakeshore Drive, another big victory for de Sable. So we use the music as a way of fighting the struggle and to defend our people all around. And that's what the International Reggae and World Music Awards is all about. Yes, we honor the people, we honor them for their work, but also we must recognize and show the respect and honor for those people who have done great things but were left behind. So as we're here this March the 22nd to celebrate our 41st IRAWMA, we are looking for those people and we're honoring those people who have made extraordinary contribution to the music industry but have been overlooked for years. We have received over 200 names of people to be recognized with special award. And it's so many people. I don't know how we're going to get through all those. But if some people feel that they have been overlooked, we apologize for that, but we'll do the best we can to make sure that as we go along, you can receive your just reward and be recognized in the proper order. Tonight, we're here to announce the entertainers' Best of 2023. Of course, you'll see the names on the screen. When we start calling names, they will be scroll on.
And the nominees for Best African Dancehall Entertainer are Pattern King, Redsan, Star Z, Shadowale, Stoneboy, and Winky D. And the nominees for Best Afrobeats Entertainer are Ajezi, Diamond Platinums, Flavor Namania, Naomi Achu, and Wizkid. And the nominees for Best African Entertainer are Angelique Kidjo, Awilo Longomba, Burna Boy, Eddie Kenzo, Valley Ipupa, and Nonini.
And we coined a whole genre of music back in Kenya and East Africa, and it's called Genge. And I'm one of the pioneers of that kind of music. I'm humbled. I've done a reggae song because I promised myself, like, one day I'll do a song. One day I'll do a song for my late brother. My brother used to listen to reggae. My brother used to be a fan of Bob Marley. My brother used to be a fan of Don Carlos. My brother used to be a fan of roots reggae. And ever since he passed away, I told myself one day I'll just do a reggae song just to honor his name. And I'm proud I was able to do it like 20 years later. The reason I did it with reggae is because I believe reggae and hip-hop are cousins, right? I believe reggae and hip-hop coexist together. They come from one family. So thank you, one day at a time. Nonini Mgenge True, Kenya representing Africa, truly humbled. Thank you.